Just gotta get this belt on. Okay. Today was not that good. Well, not really. I mean, the day ain't even over yet. But I was told yesterday, hey, Dan, you gotta come pick me up at the airport at 4. I was like, 4 o'clock? You kidding me? But, whatever. Okay, hey, I gotta pick you up, whatever. And so I got up today. I went to bed last night, and I was like, I just couldn't sleep at all. I was like, oh my gosh, I know I'm not going to get any good sleep tonight, and I have to get up at 4 anyway, so I'm like, oh, screw it. So I already kind of accepted in my head that it's just going to be a rough night of sleep, and we're going to get like 3 hours of sleep, which is what I got. I only got like 3 hours of sleep, and the last hour was just spent me sitting there in bed, like thinking, please, can I get a few more minutes before I have to get up? Also, what's really annoying right now is because I just ate some food, and now I got mucus right here, and it's messing up my talking sprite. So let me just talk let me just do a little thing real quick. Oh, look at these nipples. It's so prominent. It's the most annoying feature on my body. Anyway, and so I get up at 4, and I'm pacing around. I'm like, this bitch, because my sister, my whole life, she's never been able to keep a proper schedule of tell me, hey Dan, it's gonna last to this point. It always goes over. And so 4:30 comes around and she still hasn't told me she's landed. I'm like, oh my gosh, you kidding me? Why haven't you picked up? And then eventually it gets to 5, and I'm texting her, and I'm like, dude, where the hell? And then it clicked. Oh, 4 o'clock p.m. Oh, and then I slept in from like 6 to like 11. So yeah, that was kind of annoying. Oh yeah, beyond that though, what's been consuming my mind for the past like a few hours and half a day or so is the Fallout show. All right, I'm an avid Fallout fan. I mean, I got over here. I'm not gonna show you all of it, but I got the Fallout collectibles from the New Vegas Deluxe Edition. I got the graphic novel, All Roads, I think is what it's called. Cool stuff. And I've been a diehard Fallout fan for my whole entire life. That's why my main channel's got that New Covenant banner. That's my show, Fallout New Covenant. I started writing that when I was in 7th grade. It sucked back then, and it's getting better now. But I'm a diehard Fallout fan, so when the Fallout show was announced, I was kind of like, I kind of wanted to be the first one to do a TV adaptation or storyline, stuff like that. I know it's a bit narcissistic for a little kid like me to be like, I want to be the first one to do it. But anyway, that was kind of like where my heart was at with the first show. But I was like, you know what? Whatever. It still could be good. And I watched the first season of the show, and to be frank, guys, it ain't that good. The people who like the first season, I think you just like Fallout. I don't think you understand what good storytelling is. The problems are so big, and I want to do a video going over why that first season had a lot of problems with its narrative. But I mean, like this one key issue I think everybody can understand is the main villain and the main driving force behind the plot is Moldaver and Lucy's dad, and they don't get any screen time or development until the last 2 episodes. Do I need to say any more? Like, seriously, we see her dad in the first 17 minutes of the first episode. That's it. So you just get spammed. Hey, Lucy's dad. And then flatline for the whole entire show. And then he pops up at the end, and immediately we're told, yeah, actually, this guy blew up Shady Sands as an evil asshole. Do you guys think that's good writing? Excuse me? And there's hundreds of other problems like that. But anyway, so when season 2 was announced and they were telling me they were going to go to Vegas, I was like, oh my gosh, you're kidding me. Because not only do I think they're probably going to screw up Vegas, but I've already spent 1,400 hours in Fallout New Vegas. I've been playing that game since 2014, dude. It's been 10 years of Vegas. Why do I don't want to go back there, okay? I've seen it all. I've done it all. And I already know that what they're going to do is they're not going to like do massive evolutions or changes of what's happened before. It's just going to be pushing the needle forward ever so slightly. And that's what I'm seeing right now through all the teasers I'm seeing. I mean, Novak is like, in the first episode, Novak is being run over by raiders who are just great cons, except the great cons, they haven't evolved in anything interesting. They didn't do that whole Mongolian cool thing they did that was teased at in one of their quest lines. Like, no, they're just another generic raider group. And they do a reference to the good, the bad, and the ugly, where Lucy's going to save the ghoul by shooting the rope he's hanging on. That's kind of cool. The show is good when it does spaghetti western references. And now I'm seeing stuff about the Legion, and I already knew, I'm like, oh my gosh, the Legion's probably going to be watered down, not the same we saw before. And I'm seeing that, like, okay, so Caesar's dead, and these two guys are deciding who don't want the other to find out who his successor is, and I'm just sitting here like, dude, and I don't know how to describe it because I haven't watched the show and I can't bring myself to watch it because I don't know, it just kind of I get this weird feeling about it, and I'm just going to have to watch it at some point. But my whole thing with that is just to talk about the Legion issue. Is this whole show has this weird way of handling Fallout's tone. Fallout's tone is the spaghetti western, okay? Go watch The Good, Bad, and the Ugly for a few dollars more. These movies have the tone down of what it is. It's a serious, gritty world with non-serious, wacky things in it, okay? Nobody thinks like of the Clint Eastwood spaghetti western movies as being like Borderlands, but there are filled with crazy, wild stuff in it. And that's how Fallout's tone is always going to be. It's a serious, gritty world with these funny, wacky elements in it. But what I've seen in the first season is the Amazon's Fallout show is a wacky, weird world, and they're trying to cram serious things into it. And then, but then the moment anything gets too serious, you have to throw a bunch of bathos on it so that all the seriousness is cut out. You know what I mean? And the seriousness that is there, as we went over earlier with Lucy's dad, that whole plot line, it's just poorly written. And now I'm seeing the Legion, which is a faction that I always kind of accepted as their fate was going to be after the New Vegas, Caesar would be dead, and they would they'd maybe keep raiding the dam for a few more years, and their numbers would slowly dwindle, and then maybe after like 4 or 5 or 10 years, they'd get pushed out of Vegas, they'd be pushed back into Flagstaff, and then they'd start fracturing, all the different areas would start to splinter off and die, and then in my story, my world space, the only like last Legion stronghold would be in Denver. And then, you know, our main character would then show up and slaughter them all, as that'd be their final big ending. You know, like that's how I always view the Legion, because the Legion are run by a bunch of tribal idiots, but they're the most terrifying threat the Wasteland has ever known. They conquered like so much land from Colorado to Arizona to Vegas. They conquered all this land. They're a massive threat and force. They crucify people. They have these really trained, deadly warriors. They all venerate Caesar as a god. I mean, they're terrifying. And so when I see in the new show, you cast Macaulay Culkin to play, I think, is he playing Volpez and Colta? I don't even know. It's like, really? This doesn't look serious. The Legion, this looks like a generic Raider band based upon what I'm seeing. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. But just based upon what I'm seeing, it looks like they just took all the aesthetics of the Legion and they just threw it on a generic bad guy thing. These guys could fit perfectly into the Mad Max world, based on what I'm seeing. Is the Legion in Amazon's Fallout would perfectly fit into the Mad Max world. And that's not what the Legion was, all right? They were this serious, gritty, real force. And once again, some people say, "Oh well, Caesar's dead now," so they get a fitting ending by dying out and turning into a bunch of lame loser like idiots. And I'm like, sure, if you guys want the most terrifying and deadly faction to ever be created in Fallout's world to go out as a bunch of idiot, dumbass goobers who can't decide who the real successor of Caesar is. All right, and Legate Lanius is just a complete dead legend joke. Okay, fine. But they were so much more than that, and to see them go out that way, I don't know. This kind of bothers me. But hey, maybe it is good. Maybe the show's good. Maybe I'm overreacting for no good reason.